Hello YouTube, Bumblebee Storyteller here, and welcome to, you know what, I'm done with the cheerful voice right now. I am so tired of trying to make this video. I literally just started to work on it today, thinking it was going to be really easy, and it's not. Welcome to the video I've been struggling to make for about a week and a half. This is going to be the video where I show you the drawings and inkings I've made for my first ever Inktober. Just to warn you, I'm not a very good artist, so you're gonna have to pardon some of the drawings. You'll hear me in the voiceover saying I don't like them and whatnot, so watch out for that. But anyways, let's get on to my sketchbook so I can show you guys the drawings. So this here is my sketchbook. It says, "Design the life you love." And yes, it is leaning against my cat, Sissy, that little black fuzzball. That's her. So this is the sketchbook I did my first ever Inktober in, so I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like in case you guys were curious. But enough of that, let's go over to my first ever drawing for Inktober. Alright, so this is day one of the Inktober 2020 Bendy and the Ink Machine version. So the prompt for day one was supervillain, and I wasn't really sure what to do exactly for this prompt, and I didn't really know how to draw it or anything. So in my head, I was trying to think of, supervillains and evil things, and I remembered when the Meatley crew, Joey Drew Studios, all those awesome guys over at the Bendy and the Ink Machine place, did a April Fool's, which they teased a new game called Bendy Royale, and everybody was so excited at first, but then they realized it wasn't actually gonna happen. So I kind of was thinking about it, and I remembered they put Ink Bendy into a suit, and that's when my head was like, yes, I need to draw Inked Bendy in a suit. So I was kind of going for, how the big corporation CEO kind of guys seem really nice and they want to help the hero out and all that stuff, but then they turn out to be the big evil villain. So that's kind of the vibes I was going with. I kind of wanted him to have a very suspicious and kind of brooding position. I don't know, I'm just using fancy artsy words at this point. But that's kind of the vibe I was going for. Evil CEO boss vibes. But this was actually the first time I've ever tried inking something, so if you notice, it's kind of patchy in some places. I wasn't using a brush ink pen or something like that. I was literally coloring it in individually with a really nice pen I had gotten for a graduation gift. And I didn't have any white markers or anything that could go on top of it to make highlights. So I cheated a bit and I didn't use ink, but I used a bit of acrylic paint. I tried not to make it look so obvious, but yeah, that was acrylic paint. But anyways, I actually really like this photo. It turned out really well, and I'm very proud of it for being the first ever ink thing I made for Inktober. I don't know what to call this, a picture, drawing? We'll just call them drawings. Day 2. I'm sorry this picture is a bit weird. I didn't have any better ones, so just go with it. The prompt for this day was good eats, and I was trying really hard to think of what to do. So in my head, I was thinking, what could be seen as good eats? And I was trying really hard to figure something else, and then I realized Bendy and the Ink Machine, at least the cartoons, were kind of in the 1900s era, obviously not 1920s or anything, but when, cartoons were just starting to come to things. So I was like, it would be cute? It would be cute if I put Alice Angel in kind of a 1950s inspired kind of poodle skirt and whatnot. I'm sorry if I got that era wrong. So I was like, that'd be cool. And I was kind of thinking of the really cute waitresses, with the big poodle skirts and, carrying a tray with a milkshake and burger and fries. So that's what I was really thinking. So I went ahead and did that, and you can see instead of doing a poodle or something at the corner of her skirt, I did a bee because it's bendy. Overall, I really like this one. I'm giving my kind of ratings and opinions on each one. There are definitely some up ahead that I really really dislike. And you'll also see there's a little black box on the first two. That's because I put my full name to say that I made this one, and I really don't want to show you guys my full name. So instead of that, we're just gonna have a black box. It'll disappear in a bit. Speaking of pictures I really dislike, here's this one. As you can see the paper was a bit crumpled up, so it made a really bad picture. But this was day 3. The prompt for day 3 was big times, and I was trying really hard to think of a prompt. This one was kind of difficult, but what came to my head was the clocks from chapter 3. The cute little, kind of like the cat clocks with their tails moving back and forth, but it was his feet and arms. So I was like, oh, I'll just make a giant clock. That seems fine. And then I put a little bendy at the bottom looking really surprised. Honestly, this one is not my favorite. It's just really poorly done. The clock bendy's head looks really weird. Really, the only thing I like about it is the idea was good, execution was poor, and also the little bendy just looking so surprised at the bottom is just super cute. So overall, not liking it, not my favorite one. So for day 4, the prompt was lost, and I was really trying to think of something that was maybe a bit different from what I thought other people were gonna do. I was expecting to see a lot of people do like the lost ones and whatnot, because they're called lost ones, but I was kind of taking a bit of a different approach. Instead of going for an actual lost one, I was trying to think, well, who was really lost in that kind of in that game? Who was lost besides obviously the lost ones? And so I kind of thought about Sammy. And for any of you who don't know, Sammy is by far my favorite character in that in the Bendy and the Ink Machine games. I absolutely love Sammy. Sammy's amazing. I love him. So I thought, well, Sammy was really lost when, Joey left, and, he wasn't the music person. He started kind of getting a bit unhinged, and I think that's what kind of led him, well, obviously, it led him to, to follow Bendy. This was actually the first time I really drew Sammy, especially without his mask. I really tried to embody him looking all desperate. That's why I had him covering his face, kind of like how he did in chapter 5. Oh yeah, I should say spoilers, but honestly, the game's been out for a while and they're making the second one, so I feel like you guys should know. But anyways, I had him kneeling in a circle of unlit candles, kind of like he was trying desperately to find his way in the dark or something, or he wanted to do some kind of seance or something, because obviously the whole reason he's in this mess is because of Joey and Bendy and all that craziness. So all in all, I actually really, really like this one because I love Sammy, and I think the picture all in all wasn't that bad. I actually went in and actually did detail on his pants, and yes, he is kneeling. That's why you can't see his back feet. Don't at me. Seeing as lost was the prompt for day 4, day 5's prompt was actually found. And you can actually see in this one, in one of the corners by the candles, I have my new signature, which is just my initials, which is N and C, and the N is in the middle of the C. I really, really love this one. I wanted it so that when he was lost, he was in the dark with the candles. So when he was found, which was through, worshiping Bendy and thinking he's the savior and whatnot, I lit them, which makes him think he found his way. And I put in a lot of kind of not Easter eggs, but things that that kind of made sense for his character. I have the axe and the pool of ink and ink splatters on it, like he committed a sacrifice to him. And so I had this kind of big black circle behind him, and you can kind of see how the candles are supposed to light it up. I didn't have any gray ink to kind of add more dimension and shadow, so it's just black and white. I actually just got a new pen that is gray, so I'll be trying that out. And then I had Bendy kind of peeking over his shoulder like, oh yes, you did find me, my child. Obviously, Bendy didn't feel any of that. That's kind of what I was going for in this picture. He looks a bit derpy with his mask, but you know what? He's alright. He's alright. And I had him in the same position, and his hands are away from his face, because, he is found. Yay! Except for not yay. Poor Sammy. So oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the pictures while I'm going through them so I remember what to say about them. And honestly, I love this picture. For day 6, the prompt was gloppy. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I had no idea what to do. It was a really late day, really late at night. I wasn't worried I would even be able to get one out in time. So, in kind of desperation, I was like, you know what was really gloppy? The little dude from, or the big dude, I suppose, from chapter 4 when you had to get the little booger off of his back and use that to do the machine. I thought of him and how like gloppy the ink he produced was. So that's kind of where I went with it. So I did him kind of looking over his shoulder and being super surprised that you're there. And I put a lot of ink around him and some ink piles behind him. I realized it kind of looks like he pooped, but you know what? That's all right. It's fine. But I absolutely love this picture. His expression just gets me every single time. The exclamation point on top is just the perfect little cherry on top of this big inky gloppy mess. So I absolutely love this one. Super cute, and I just love the expression. For day 7, the prompt was revenge. I was trying to think of who wanted revenge, and obviously Sammy came to mind, but because some of the more recent pictures I had done were of Sammy, I kind of wanted to stray away from that. So I was thinking in my head, who else would want revenge on who? And I was like, oh, yeah, the poor projectionist. He wants revenge on Bendy for killing him. So I decided to do the projectionist, and this drawing is a little bit wonky, especially with the anatomy of the projectionist. But to be fair, this was my first time ever really drawing him in detail, so I think I did pretty alright. I hope you guys love the little Easter egg I put up there, because honestly, because Among Us is kind of such a big thing still, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I decided to draw the projectionist sneaking up on Ink Bendy, about to kind of, whack his head off with that axe there. Looks like he's got a little blood on it already. Damn. Projectionist, I feel like, would make a great imposter. For day 8, the prompt was unlikely hero. I was trying really hard to think who would be an unlikely hero in this situation, and obviously my mind went to Boris first, because little old Boris doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would save anyone, just because he's so small and cute and just freaking adorable. So I went back and thought in my head, who else would be an unlikely hero? And then I remembered the Lost Ones. The Lost Ones were always trying to, attack you, and they were always the ones that needed saving and stuff like that. And they've tried following good old Sammy Boy for a bit, and that didn't turn out too well. So then I remembered, I don't know if we actually saw this in my playthrough of Bendy and the Ink Machine, which if you're new, you should totally go check that out. I don't know if I mentioned that already. There's a little lost guy in the very beginning of the end of the part where you have to go drive down the Ink River. As soon as you enter the town, he's kind of up there and he's fishing. So I was like, you know what? Sure, why not do him for an unlikely hero? He's super cute anyways, and I love the idea of him flying around with his cape and rescuing people with his fishing rod and catching bad guys with it. So I thought this guy fitted the prompt perfectly. The prompt for day 9 was dessert, and I'm gonna be completely honest to you guys, I really, really, really hate this picture. This drawing was done really late at night. I don't even know if I got this in on time of the 9th, but it's just so bad. Boris doesn't look like Boris. Boris looks like he was thrown into a melting pot or something, spat back out into a really bad mold, and he came out just bad. I was kind of thinking it would be really cute if Boris was holding a pumpkin pie and offering it to people, but it was late. I have no idea how to draw a pumpkin pie, so this is kind of what it came out as. I tried to make it look like it was obvious it was a pumpkin pie, with the whole happy fall thing, and I don't think it really came through. All in all, I really dislike this one. For day 10, the prompt was best friends, and honestly, I was kind of thinking Henry and Boris at first, then these two came to my mind. I know Allison and Tom are technically more than best friends, but hey, they had technically had to start somewhere. I think the expressions on their faces are really cute. I love that Allison is just looking at Boris kind of in her hopeful fashion and just smiling at him, and then he's always his stern, grumpy old self. I love Tom. I know you can probably see where I tried to cover up my mistakes with the jelly rolls, but just shush, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this one. This was day 11's prompt, which was dress up, and obviously I had to do Boris in a suit with a bow tie, with the little tail, tails at the bottom, and striped pants, and big glossy boots, and obviously a cane. He just looks so dapper and so cute. I absolutely freaking love him. This is definitely one of my favorites, and I'm glad I spent the time I did on this one. Not even the anatomy's that too bad, except for maybe it's a bit stiff. 10 out of 10, do love this one, and I do love that it looks like his belt buckle has a letter B on it. For day 12, the prompt was dressed down, and I kind of tried to do this in a way that it looked like Boris from yesterday's prompt came back, and it was like the night after a party, and he's just in his underwear and looking just real tired and sad. I kind of got my inspiration from this when I remembered that in chapter 3, he actually had, when he was hanging up his clothes, he actually had a pair of spotted underpants. So that's where I got the inspiration from. And I really wish I could have made it look better, but I was running out of time and I was tired. I like the idea, but the execution is poor, so not my favorite. The prompt for day 13 was flexible, and honestly, I freaking love this picture. It's so good. I mean, come on, his name is literally Bendy. Get it? Bendy? Flexible? I think I did really well on this drawing, especially with the whole anatomy of this thing. He's kind of doing the backstand sort of thing, so I really like this one. It fits the prompt great, and it actually looks good, so I'm very proud of this one. One of my favorites, drawing wise. I would like to mention that this one and the next two were done in advance because I was going up to the coast to visit a friend I haven't seen in half a year. So I had to do all of these. These literally took like 4 hours. This one and the next two. So just be aware of that these ones were done in advance. Okay, this next one I really like. This is day 14 and the prompt was wedding. I kind of had an idea in my head of what I wanted to do, and when I thought of wedding, I was like, well, obviously I want to put in a wedding dress. And I realized I probably could have done Tom and Allison again, but then I was thinking, what about kind of like a corpse bride kind of thing? And that made me think of Alice from, chapter 3. So I thought it would be really cool if I did, the messed up Alice Angel in kind of a wedding gown that looks like it's been through hell and back, because she's a deadly bride that looks fucking terrifying, obviously. So I'm actually really proud of this one because I absolutely love the dress. It came out almost exactly how I pictured it in my head. I thought it would be really cool if it kind of had like a scallop pattern and it was different layers that got shorter and shorter than the last. If you look at the bottom layer, you can see it's covered in ink, and I imagine that she was walking through tiny streams of ink and just getting it all messed up and ripped. I know real Alice Angel can't technically walk through puddles because she thinks it'll drag her back, but let's just ignore that detail for a second. Obviously, she has ink splatters all over it because obviously the girl still has to take the ink hearts from everyone. All in all, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely love this one. It's amazing. For day 15, the prompt was thief. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I really like this one just because, it's the Butcher Gang. I feel like if there were any characters in Bendy and the Ink Machine that would fit the word thief, it's these guys. So I draw the three of them, which is Piper, Striker, and then Fisher. I can't remember their names to save my life, their actual names, but I was like, you know what, I feel like these guys would team up and rob a bank, so that's what I have them doing. I feel like these guys fit the prompt absolutely perfectly, and I think it's just really well done, especially since it was my first time actually drawing the Butcher Gang, so I'm very proud of this one. The prompt for day 16 was dark places, and honestly, I don't have any special feelings toward this one. I do wish I could have made it look a bit better, especially if I could make like a glow around the candle flames, but because I didn't have any gray, I couldn't really do that. But dark places, a little bendy smile hidden in all of it. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty simple. It's not my favorite, but it isn't the worst. So you know what? I'll give it a 6 out of 10. For day 17, the prompt was graveyard, and I actually really like this one. It was a bit of a rushed one, but I was thinking, you know what? It would be cool if I had like graves and kind of a starry night sky kind of thing. And just have different graves all over the place. And then I thought it would be really cute if I had like Bendy popping out of the main one and, you know, kind of covering up the name. You can decide if Bendy lies there or if he's hiding something else. Also, side note, I like that the grave and one of the graves in the back has a flower and then, you know, my initials, like it's my grave. Just saying. I also really like the cracked details I put on little Bendy's grave. I think it just adds a nice touch. Alright, so day 18 was monsters, and I gotta tell you guys, I really loved this one. This is actually my first time drawing Beast Bendy in like detail, and I actually used a reference and everything. If you haven't noticed, I'm not a big reference person, but honestly, I really like this one. I love the highlights I did and his teeth, and he just looks so spooky and angry, and I love it. Looks awesome. 10 out of 10. Alright, I don't even want to show you this one. I really hate this one. This is day 19 and it's celebrity. I thought it would be really funny if I got Alice Angel in there. Oh my god. I just realized I didn't even put her bow on. Oh, yeah, this is not my favorite. I was trying to go for the whole, like, Alice is in a really fancy car and she has glamorous hair and, you know, kind of that vibe, but it didn't pan through. No, I hate it. Nope, I hate cars. It's just bad. No, moving on. Alright, so this one is just freaking adorable. I absolutely love it. This is day 20 and the prompt was cookies. Y'all can't tell me that this is not canon. You cannot tell me that Boris didn't do this for Henry when Henry was hanging out with him in the safe house. Just look at those cute cookies that were messily done with the heart at the bottom. It's just... It's so cute. This has to be canon. Candy was the prompt for day 21, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I had such a cool plan for this one. There was a specific kind of candy bar or chocolate bar that I had in mind, where it was chocolate, and then there was caramel in the middle, and it was just like a big brick of a bar, and I had a really cool idea where I wanted to make it look really realistic and with dimension. Unfortunately, I ran out of time, so I couldn't even do it. All in all, it's not that bad, it's just definitely not my favorite, and I really wish I could have done my original idea. Alright, this one is probably my favorite. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. It's so adorable! So this is day 22 and the prompt was autumn, and I gotta tell you guys, Sammy with a scarf holding a pile of leaves is just something I didn't realize I needed in my life. He's so freaking adorable and it's so cute. Look at him and the leaves falling. Oh. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to love this one as much as I did when I was making it, but then I made it, I took a step back and I looked at it, and honestly, it's just adorable. I absolutely love it. It's so good. I hope you guys like it as much as I do, because this one right here is probably my favorite. No joke, I just love it that much. For day 23, the prompt was vacation. I didn't have much time for this one, so I just tried to do something simple that still covered the prompt. So I was like, sure, why not just put Bendy in a nice lounge chair holding some kind of like margarita or tropical drink. I don't think Bendy's an alcoholic, but you know what? Think whatever you think. Alright, for day 24, the prompt was barnyard, and I gotta say, this one is so frackin' cute. Just look at it. It is Alice, normal Alice Angel, trying to pet an adorable cartoon pig. How can you tell me it's not cute? I know it kind of looks like she has one leg, but shh, don't worry about it. I didn't know how else to do it. So just imagine her feet are really similar. But anyways, this one is super freaking cute, and I love that pig. I want it in real life. It's so cute. You know what? I'm starting to realize anything with Boris in it is going to be adorable, except for that freaking pumpkin pie drawing. We don't talk about this one. So for day 25, the prompt was marshmallow, and yes, I realize it was marshmallow is spelled wrong, and it's supposed to be marshmallow. But in my defense, I was going off of the spelling from the prompt list, and they spelled it wrong. So not completely my fault. But anyways, it's literally just Boris hugging a giant freaking bag of marshmallows. Like, come on, it's so cute. I was actually really unsure of what I wanted to do for this one. I originally wanted it to be like Boris at eye level with a s'mores or something, and it being really cute, but I didn't really have the time for that, so I went with this, but it's already super duper freaking cute, and it's not my favorite, but it's also not that bad, so I really like it. The prompt for day 26 was hallway, and honestly, I had such an awesome idea for this one, but the execution's just really poor. So in my head, I was thinking about all the times in like chapter 3 when you're just, minding your own business, walking down the hall, and then suddenly you hear a weird faint heartbeat, and you turn around and all you see is weird ink covering the walls, and then there's Bendy at the end of the hallway. So I was kind of trying to go for it was Bendy kind of just walking down the hall with his weird little like ink show and like warning you he's there. That was my original plan, but it doesn't look so good, especially when it's all black and it was all, scratchy and weird, but it just looks messy and just bad. And we're not even going to talk about that Bendy cutout. Bundy? Who the hell is Bundy? Ted Bundy? No, we don't talk about him. But that Bendy cardboard cutout just isn't really that good. I think it was a good idea for the prompt, but just not the best execution. So it's just not my favorite. Alrighty, so this is day 27 and the prompt was museum, and all I'm gonna say is let's just not talk about the wolf, alright? It's not very good. In all honesty, it started out really nice, but then I started adding the fur. The sketch was amazing, but then the inking was terrible. Does anyone else have that problem? I feel like any other artist knows what I'm talking about. When the sketch is absolutely immaculate and amazing, but the line work is just... That's how I see the wolf. What this is supposed to be is Boris kind of at a museum, and he's very confused as to why this taxidermied wolf doesn't look like him. I thought it was a really cute and silly idea. I just wish the execution was better, because that would make it, I feel like, look so much sillier and better. Alrighty, I don't even want to talk about this one. This is day 28 and the prompt was animated. In chapter 3, when you're hunting for the ink hearts in the projectionist lair, there's one of the animation that plays where it's Bendy with like a lunchbox or a toolbox, and he's just kind of walking around all chipper-like and, swinging his lunchbox in his arms. It was supposed to be like that, but it didn't really come out that way and just doesn't look that good, so I'm not a very big fan of this one. Alright, so this is day 29 and the prompt was reanimated. I'm going to be honest, I like this one. I just wish I could have done the hands and the drawing a bit better. What I was kind of going for was Joey being kind of the master manipulator behind, all the horrible stuff going on at the studio, which, he was. But, I kind of had him kind of being like a sorcerer, kind of coming out of the inky scariness and the inky blackness, and he was just raising inked Bendy from the ink and whatnot. All in all, it was a cool idea, poor execution, just like a lot of these drawings. But you know what? I do like it. It's not the worst. Alright, everybody, we're almost to day 31, which is the final part of Inktober. So for day 30, the prompt was Mad Grin, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This one was definitely rushed because it was late at night. But I had this idea from the beginning where I was like, you know what, I'll just make it look like that one Easter egg that I've never found and I probably should find, where if you like do a series of events or like glitch through the wall or something, you'll see a kind of weird, scary looking Bendy holding a sign that says wandering is a terrible sin. I was kind of basing it off of this one, and it had looked good in the beginning, but if you can see, the circle for Bendy's head isn't exactly perfect, so it's a bit uneven, or it just might look that way because of the drips. Oh no, it's not the best, but I'm honestly don't care, because for the last one, oh boy, the last one's pretty good. So, without further ado, allow me to show you day 31. Drumroll please. I don't even know if you guys can hear this, but we're drumrolling, and ta-da! Day 31, the final day of Inktober, the Bendy and the Ink Machine prompts. This is a bit of a weird photo, so please forgive me, but I'm gonna take you through it. So the prompt for day 31 was haunted, because, you know, Halloween, spooky stuff, obviously. So I really love this one. I worked super duper hard on this one. You guys won't believe it, but I used a reference. I know, crazy, right? I used a reference, which, if you can't tell, was the picture from the very end of the Bendy and the Ink Machine game, where it was the signed picture of all three characters to Joey, congratulating him for his great success with the cartoon business. But obviously, if you look at it, some things have changed. Obviously, all the characters are in sheets, because I originally thought it would be really cute if they were all just dressed up as, like, stereotypical ghosts and all that crazy stuff. But if you look closer, you'll realize some things are a bit more off. Obviously, now, instead of walking in the middle of the day, they're actually walking at night, because I tried to make it look like there was a moon up there. And if you kind of look a bit closer at Boris's little picnic basket there, you'll see it's kind of dripping ink, and if you look even closer inside, there are two eyeballs staring back at you. And then if you go over to Bendy there in the middle, you'll see his little sheet at the bottom has a rip, and there's an ink splotch on it. And then Alice, well, she looks fine, right? Nope. Her halo is dripping with ink and looking a bit spooky. I also have some dead flowers over there beneath Boris's picnic basket, and they're raining petals, and he seems like he's about to take a step into some unwanted ink there. And if you look over by Alice at the tree, you'll see a suspicious gravestone that seems to say, "Here lie Henry 19 to 9." Now, I don't want to sway your guys' judgment or anything, but that grave looks suspiciously like it says Henry. Very, very odd. And then, obviously, if you read the message to Joey from Henry, it looks very, very different. I gotta say this right now, I tried so hard to copy Henry's handwriting, and let me tell you, that was difficult. But I think I did a pretty good job, especially with his signature. Obviously, I gotta point out some mistakes to this one. I wish I could have put more into the background, but again, I was just running out of time, and I didn't know what else to add to it without making it look too busy. I also wanted to put in spooky elements, but not have them too spooky, or to be too obvious. That kind of, honestly, the only one that I think is the least obvious is maybe Alice's halo, which, might I add, looks very good. I'm usually struggling with her halo all the time, so I'm very proud of that. Again, you can also probably see that there are some weird white lines underneath Boris's sheet. or on top of it, whatever you want to see. I originally had it so you could see his legs as he was walking, so it would match the pose to the original picture, but I realized it kind of just looked like he was wearing a weird like suit, like a hazmat suit or something, instead of an actual sheet. So I had to try to change that and make it more flowy like an actual sheet, and obviously those white lines stand out a bit, but all in all, I am so frackin' proud of this picture. It took 2 days to make, mostly because I was worried I was running out of ink, and I'm really glad that I did this one early, mostly because I did end up running out of ink on the last picture. I am super duper proud of this picture, and even if I didn't like some of the ones, some of the other ones, I'm actually really glad that I got to do them. I did miss a few days, or at least I posted things a bit late on my Twitter, but you know what? I am so ding dang proud of myself for actually pulling through this month and getting it all done. And it was actually a lot of fun to be drawing every single day. I don't usually do that like ever, so I'm very proud of myself for just doing this, and I'm really happy that I got to learn more about inking and trying new things, because I don't actually ink, I just draw most of the time, but now I'm really into trying it more. So all in all, this was an amazing experience. If you guys want to check out all the responses I got from Twitter on all these pictures, my Twitter link is in the description below, so go and give me a follow. I will be trying to post notifications when new videos are up, or you can just subscribe and ring the bell so you guys can see when they come out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a nightmare to make, but I'm really glad I did it, and I got to share with you guys. This awesome experience I had. Even though Inktober is over, you can always go and find the old prompt list and just follow them every single day, no matter the month, just so you can get some practice in. You don't even have to ink them if you want. Please be nice in the comments. I already said I'm not the best artist, but just don't be hateful. And don't be hateful to anyone else in the comments because of their opinions, alright? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and thanks for coming by. I'm Bumblebee Storyteller, and I outie. Peace, guys.